Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We seem to be live. That's exactly how it should be. Let's see. I gotta mute this. Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, guys, welcome back. How are you doing? Very good to be back. As you know, we do this each and every Monday, this short live streams. Today is going to be a bit shorter because we have 25 minutes or so. And very good to be back with you. We're yet another week. We're gonna do Q&A. I'm gonna do some preaching. We're gonna do some ads about our talent because, as you know, we're hiring like crazy. Many people in crypto actually they're not hiring right now, but we are hiring like crazy. If you go to talent.moralis.io, I want to make some promotion for that right now. You see a lot: executive assistant, head of growth, senior backend engineer, accountant activation squad, senior backend engineer API team, senior product manager, senior backend. I mean, we have a lot, guys. Go to talent.moralis.io if you want to join us. And maybe we are one of the key infra players right now that is hiring like never before, because in reality the current downward market does not affect projects that are here for real, that are building. And we're very fortunate to be serving a lot of these projects that are building no matter which market, no matter whether it goes up or down. And we're growing like never before. That's why we have to invest heavily like never before as well in expanding, and that's what we're doing right now. So go to talent.moralis.io if you're interested, because actually some of the biggest hires, most important hires we've done through our community. So that's why it's very nice that we have this vibrant community, and it's fantastic when you guys want to work with us, and we have a lot of opportunities if you go to talent.moralis.io. Also, as we are waiting for more people to drop in, I just tweeted this tweet from Moralis Twitter. So let me show you here. What are you building? Let's go and connect with each other under that tweet. Let me actually tweet it. Let me put it in here in the YouTube. So all of you guys who are watching this, the best thing about any community is mutual connection. It is mutual connection, that we can connect with like-minded people. We can know what is happening in the industry, and we can find each other useful, that we can help each other. That is the best thing with the communities, especially in crypto. And that's also what we aspire to create, that if you guys can meet someone that you start a project with, or if you guys can meet someone who has a project that you can join, that would be the best. That would be the absolute best outcome for us, because then we know that we have reached our goal of creating a nice community where anyone who is willing to work, who is willing to put in the time, who is interested in Web3 can find success. So that's very important. And finally, before we go into the preaching, which will be about Ethereum 2.0 today and the merge, as you know, the merge is up and coming, I want to remind you guys about the hackathon that we have right now, which is 1-2 Web3 hackathon. It is starting already, I think, in a week, in 6 days. So if you go to Moralis.io Filecoin Hackathon, and I will link it now in YouTube as well, in the YouTube chat, you can sign up, Moralis.io/Filecoin Hackathon, and you should, because time is running out. And as you can see, the prices here are massive. We have $180,000 in prices, and big shout out to our sponsors: Polygon, Fluence, Chainlink, Ledger, Valist, Tableland, and of course Filecoin, who is the main sponsor and our main partner for this hackathon. So that's going to be massive. And the reason why Filecoin is so important, especially in our tech stack, when we are building NFT projects, when we're building anything that requires storage, you need to have something where people are incentivized to save your storage. I mean, basically, Filecoin is like IPFS, but because you have a way to monetize, you also have an incentive to pin other people's data, because that's the problem with IPFS. You upload something to IPFS, no one will pin it for you if you don't go to Pinata, or if you don't use Moralis gateway and you upload via us, and then we can pin for you. But Filecoin is basically taking this to a protocol level where you don't have to pin yourself, but it's more decentralized as a protocol, as a decentralized network. A very interesting project you also should check out is Arweave, because Arweave has the same idea but very different approach to how it works. But all in all, It's all about creating a way to storing data in a decentralized manner where it's actually persisted, which where it's actually persisting without you having to pin it yourself or use something like Filecoin or even our own service for pinning, because it's not on the protocol level. And we of course welcome all protocol level developments where things can happen on a protocol level. Now more and more people are tuning in. That's good. Welcome everyone. I just started with Web3 dev these days. Oh, that's nice. If you have used Firebase, you know that we do have a Firebase tutorial. We have a Firebase tutorial we just went out earlier today where we show you how to connect Web3 and Firebase. And if you know anything about Web2 development, then you know Firebase. Then you know that this is very easy to get started with. And basically, we just published a tutorial today where we show you how to connect MetaMask to a Firebase application. On that note, guys, let's go to the Blackboard, because the Blackboard today will be about some key changes that are happening to the Ethereum ecosystem with the rise of Ethereum 2. Let's see. Bam. And in this particular upgrade that we are calling Ethereum Merge, it is part of Ethereum 2, but Ethereum Merge is really all about proof of stake. It's all about the fact that we are replacing proof of work and we are moving to proof of stake. For you as a developer, if you are a developer, this means a few important things. Some testnets are going to be removed and no longer supported by the Ethereum community. This is, for example, Ropsten, no more, and also Rinkeby, no more. Instead, if you're using any testnet like Ropsten or Rinkeby, you have to switch to Gurley. Gurley is the one that is going to survive. These other testnets are gonna die. And this is basically a big decision by the entire Ethereum community, as Gurley is the only one that will be part of this post-merge reality. And this is where you have big shifts in how projects need to test their applications. Because in the past, you kind of were forced to use Rinkeby or Ropsten if you wanted to build something that uses other smart contracts that are on those testnets. So for example, when you look at Chainlink, when you look at OpenSea, when you look at Aave, these projects, they normally have their testnet contracts in one of these testnets. And so now we have this big move where everyone has to move to Gurley. So if you are using any testnet, ensure that it's Gurley right now on Ethereum, because that's the only one that's going to survive. In terms of, and also there's going to be a new testnet. So Gurley is the one that is going to survive out of the existing ones, and then there's going to be a new one called the Sepolia. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think it's some train station or something, or some area in Greece. When I googled that's what I remember. So this is the new testnet that is going to be live, and then also Gurley. And Gurley, as far as I remember, is going to be renamed into Praetor. Okay, so some naming changes coming as well. But for you as a developer, as long as you switch to Gurley, nothing changes. Nothing in terms of the programming approach changes. Nothing in terms of how the smart contracts work changes. How Solidity language works. Nothing of that changes. But of course, the only thing that will be key post-merge is the economics. Is the economics of the network, the fact that we're going to have a triple halving where the new inflation is cut by 8. So basically we divide inflation by 8. So it's very good in terms of fundamentals, in terms of how the price of ETH may perform. And that's why many people are excited for the merge, namely because of that. And also, of course, that we have this better approach to resource use, that you don't need proof of work in order to keep the chain secure. It's still a big experiment on the scale of ETH, but at the same time, it's not as big as some people want it to sound like, because you do have big chains like Cardano, like Polkadot and others, Polygon. I mean, you have many different chains that are running not on proof of work, but on something else. So that's why at this point, there's a good chance that the industry itself has proven that proof of stake is viable, because there are literally billions of dollars for the taking if someone thinks that they can mess with proof of stake. Yo, I see Joseph, by the way. hello, Joseph. Diamond Sauce. I've been saying proof of stake is the future since 2019. Arviv is better. Yeah, Arwe is very good. Big welcome, Majors. What's up? Welcome, everyone. I just started with. Oh, I read that. Hello, Ivan. Any thoughts about this white ETH? Some people are saying is Tron's successor. I haven't heard about it, but I have heard about Dogechain. Have you heard that? That's the reason why maybe the bear market is not over because there is still Dogechain and people are still excited about this a bit degen things you can say, such as the Dogechain. So that's one I have heard, but I have not heard about the white thing that you mentioned. Now, in terms of what we're doing right now at Moralis, let me go into that a bit. I will do a short roadmap of what's about to come. So number one, we are releasing a small update to the Moralis admin very, very soon. And that is going to be probably this week. And this is going to be the first update out of FU, which basically will highlight Moralis 2.0 features, where it's going to be a lot around getting the API key and getting a project started in whatever tech stack. Basically, whether you want on your own backend, whether you want to use Firebase, whether you want to use Moralis server, we're going to change the flow there a bit, because now when you come to Moralis admin, you see like create server or create dApp, and that's going to be redone. So it's more fetch your key, and then it's up to you to choose the tech stack. And we provide basically small demos and starter guides for the different tech stacks and for the different languages. So that is coming up in the pipeline when it comes to Moralis admin. In terms of the APIs, we have important updates to the Nft API. And that has to do, for example, with images, the fact that we can serve images with different sizes, with different CDNs, based on where the request is coming from. Because right now, when you query metadata from Nft API, you just get one-sized image. And we're changing that so it's easier to basically show the content in the different applications, whether it is you're building a wallet, you're building a marketplace with already fixed image. So you don't have to process the image from our API. So that's going to be important. We have a lot of other updates in terms of scalability and performance, which we always have to do behind the scenes. And that's maybe has been our biggest thing since scalability, since we started to go parabolic. Because as you know, we went basically from 0 to 100,000 developers already by December last year. And scalability for us has been the number one focus, to ensure that we can handle 1 million devs at the same time, because that's our big goal. 1 million devs is where Moralis is heading, and that's also where we are providing way better latency. That's where we're providing way better request per second demands. If your project becomes massive, you need 100,000 requests per second, no problem. That is what is really driving our R&D and development in terms of how to scale all of these real-time systems to global level. And this is where our North Star of 1 million developers is guiding us. That Moralis is very, very soon at such a level that 1 million devs can use it at the same time, and they can use it heavily at the same time. And of course, when we are taking this many developers into Web3, we hope that will lead to Web3 adoption. If we take 1 million devs from Web2, we teach them Web3, we give them tools for Web3, it's gotta end up in something meaningful. That's the key of Web3 infrastructure. Giving devs the tools so they can focus on the use cases and ensuring that they can be efficient. Now, in terms of other important features, we are probably already within, I hope before September, launching the syncs. And this is the name we have currently in our dashboard, as you know, when you create a new sync. But we're launching it as an API. So you can have your sync into any backend. But also we're thinking to renaming syncs into streams, because that may be a more easier term to grasp, that you're streaming real-time data from the blockchain, from different users, from different smart contracts into your backend. So this is a change that's probably coming. And let me know what you think about this in the chat, whether we should have syncs or streams. But we are leaning more now towards rebranding syncs into streams. And that's going to be easier to grasp what it is. So as you know, today when you use Moralis, you can go into Syncs, you can set up a wallet or a smart contract, and then in real time, your database will be populated. Well, now you can send it anywhere, whether you're using Firebase or your own backend or something else. And probably we're going to rename it to Streams. And this is hopefully already coming before September, although it could be early September as well. As with any tech, it's difficult to say exactly when. And as you know, it's only half of the features of the current Syncs. Because in the current Syncs that is not an API, you also have historical Syncs that you can get historical import. And in our API is going to be a separate service, something like bulk import or something. We haven't yet decided on the name. But let's say you want all transactions for a specific smart contract. Let's say USDT smart contract, it's a lot of data. It's millions and millions of transfers. But we want to be able to support it, and that anyone who wants any kind of historical import to sync any kind of historical data into their backend, we will have an API for that. And that's coming after the streaming API. So that you can stream or you can bulk import historical, either user data or smart contract data very easily. So in terms of new features that we're opening up as an API, these are the two. And as you know, they're parts right now of the Moralis full stack. But the key with Moralis 2 is, as you know, making an API out of everything. So it's possible to use all of this Web3 magic in any backend, anywhere. Definitely Streams. That's good. Streams all the way. Exactly. But because it is kind of like sockets. Yes, exactly. Joseph is on every platform. He's everywhere. All right, guys. Unfortunately, I have to go in 10 minutes. So this one is a bit shorter than normal, but I'm here to take any questions that you may have. For the last 10 minutes, any questions about Moralis product or anything else, fire away, and I'll take as many as possible. Yeah, it probably is going to be Streams. I also agree that it's easier to say, it's easier to conceive in your head that it's Streams and not Syncs. Ivan, our platform is already on iOS and Android. Its name is already out. KO allows people to mint instantly for free any picture files in your phone or cloud. Fantastic. That's very, very good. If you are using Moralis, tweet the demo and tag Moralis, and we're gonna check it out. So it sounds very interesting. Did you see the link? You cannot share the links here in this chat because YouTube will filter it. But instead, record the video and tag Moralis on Twitter, and we'll check it out. Which limitations does the Moralis free plan have? Well, we write it on the pricing page. It has to do with requests per second. It also has to do, if you're using Moralis server, the fact that you need to look at the CPU usage. If you really want to go production, you submit a ticket. At the top of the page, when you log into Moralis, you see a banner. Click there and submit a ticket, and we're going to upgrade your server. So all in all, when you're using the free plan, the most important thing to look at is requests per second in the API. And if you're using the server, look at your CPU. And if you're going live, submit a ticket so we can upgrade it. Thanks. Very good. We'll tag on LinkedIn and Twitter. That's good. In terms of the big industry waves that are important to keep an eye on, as you know, we have this whole centralization, decentralization debate happening in ETH. Whether we should sanction or not sanction. I don't know if you followed it, but that's something to keep an eye on, because it also ties into proof of stake. The fact that if it is the case that the governments across the world tell the big stakers, such as, for example, Coinbase, because they get a lot of their funds from users, and when they stake ETH that you have deposited into Coinbase, they are also deciding which transactions go into the blockchain or not. Because proof of stake, by definition, if you stake the coins, you are a miner. You're basically a virtual miner. You decide what's get included in the blockchain and what's not get included in the blockchain. So that's why these exchanges like Coinbase or Binance or anyone else who provides this proof of stake staking as a service, a lot of wallets, a lot of exchanges, they may get requests from the government to start censoring some wallets. So as you know, we have a new sanctions list of different wallets that are sanctioned. And now a big debate is how this is going to continue and whether these different big exchanges will be able to comply. And if they do comply, what will the Ethereum community do? Because of course, on a protocol level, we want to be censorship resistant. That's the whole goal of the blockchain, that it's tech that is censorship resistant. So something that you should follow along in is this whole debate, what's going to happen, because Vitalik came out and proposed that if you start censoring on a protocol level, let's say you're Coinbase or Binance, that then your whole stake gets slashed. So all in all, that if it is the case that a validator is maliciously censoring transactions, they can lose all their stake. Kind of like when a validator wants to get a transaction into the blockchain that is invalid, tries to double spend or tries to do something else malicious that is not according to the protocol rules, their stake also gets slashed. But now the proposal is that if you are censoring transactions on chain, you may get your stake slashed on a protocol level, which is ensuring that ETH in itself on a protocol level is censorship resistant. So that's an important thing to follow in terms of what's happening. Richard Hart, for exactly. People ask us about Pulse Chain. We are following Pulse Chain. Listen, when Pulse Chain is gonna launch, we're gonna look into it. How the node works. Is it mature to sync or not sync? But we've been keeping an eye on them for sure. So in order to upgrade the server, you need to do a ticket. But if you just need requests per second and you don't have a server, then you can just upgrade on the website. With 2 ETH chains, could we have double allocation like in BTC and BCH? Well, technically, it could happen that if it is the case that Ethereum goes into proof of stake and one chain continues, so you have proof of stake and then miners keep mining proof of work, but they also need to do a fork because there's going to be ice age. The difficulty is going to increase a lot. But if that is the case, then yes, you will have double coins. And the question is how much they will be worth. But if there is a theoretical scenario, there's going to be a fork with 2 coins. But at the same time, ETH is not as Bitcoin, because in ETH, normally, whatever is the main chain is the main chain. You don't have these different factions in the same way like in Bitcoin, where they can break up and they can make a big deal out of it. The only time it happened was with Ethereum Classic. So it could definitely happen. But at the same time, all these forks, it was more of a fashion in 2017. I haven't seen any of this behavior lately. It can still happen, of course, but it's in my view, it's a bit unlikely. But let's see. Moralis API worked much better for MedUp than OpenSea's. That's good. Good to hear, Matthew. Well, I think we also have more chains than OpenSea API, because OpenSea just supports a few chains and we support more chains. One question: React or Node.js? Which one is more secure? So right now, Kola Vola, we provide only Node. So if you want to use Moralis in your front end, you go to documentation, and you need to use something like Next.js. So here in this example, for example, we use Next.js, which is React with a server-side component, which is important. Or if you go to Web3 authentication and you sign it with MetaMask, here is also an example how to use Next.js, because here is also a backend component involved. If you want to learn how this works, watch our video about. Let me show you. Actually, it's a very important thing that you understand what is backend, what is frontend. And Next.js is the easiest way if you are a React developer to do backend, because they have a backend component built in. Watch this video. If you want to learn how this works, watch this video about authentication. Moralis Web3 authentication with MetaMask. Go and watch this one. It is on our channel from a few days back. So Next.js you use if you want to do full stack, Node.js if you want to do backend. But you cannot just use React, because Moralis is a backend technology, so you have to use something that has a backend. When it comes to Moralis 2, at least, that's what I'm speaking about. If it happens, we will have, exactly. Are the fees going to be lower? Probably. If the fees are not going to be affected too much. And the reason is because it's mainly about the issuance of new coins and not that much about how the current network works in terms of the fees and how much we can fit in each block and so on and so forth. On that note, guys, this was a flash stream, very short stream. Normally we're doing approximately 1 hour, and this time we did approximately 25 minutes. We'll be back next week. To summarize, the most important key things. Number one is, if you haven't yet, go and join the hackathon. You can just Google Moralis Filecoin Hackathon. You will find it, register. Go to talent.moralis.io, talent.moralis.io. Check out all of the positions which are open, which are many. And of course, we hope to see you here on the channel already next week when we do Moralis Mondays, approximately this time. So guys, have a good day. Smash the like. Thanks for all the questions. Very good questions. Happy to always answer. Happy to always hang out with you. And see you all very, very soon. See you all next week. Have a good week, guys. Goodbye.